is the return of the Matt. One of the guys I started the podcast with. We did 2 episodes very early on. He was my very first episode. Mainly one of the reasons why I actually started this podcast is because of him. We love podcasts and we wanted to do a comedy one together. So I just started my own, and so it's good to have him back. He hasn't been on in so long because he bought a brand new house and did a lot of work in it. It's pretty incredible. It seemed like one of those like extreme makeover TV shows, where they go into a house and like 3 days later it's completely different. It was very much like that. He bought a house and 6 weeks later it looked like a completely different house. So he put a lot of work into it, and that's why he hasn't been here in the last 6 weeks. We do talk about the renovations in the house and everything he did. We also talk about dogs and just little here and there things. There's no real topic about this episode. Just 2 pals hanging out and talking. His dog does interrupt a little bit, which is no surprising for the PJ and Palace podcast because usually it's my dog that's interrupting the show. But Daryl, his dog, stopped by the studio. Neanderthal dog, like the John Jones of dogs, really tall and skinny, looks like a deer, just ran back and forth through the camera. So if you're watching this, you'll see Daryl a little bit. If you're hearing this, you'll hear Daryl a lot because I think he stepped on the computer once or twice. But anyways, so here's episode number 18, The Return of the Matt. I hope you enjoy it. Call this the dog podcast because I have so many dogs that just like come in and out of this thing.
I'm okay with that.
Because I had JD's, I don't know if you listened to that episode, but JD's like, he has a support dog.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
for his
cool.
diabetes. And
does it like detect when he's running
low?
or
It's
something?
crazy. Yeah. So the dog just sat there the whole time. All right, we're going, Matt.
Hi.
We're live. I've been waiting for you to come back for so long. Return of the Matt.
I like that.
I've been waiting to do that for like a month.
Solid
month.
Oh, my dog's about to get in the way of your camera.
Yeah.
That's okay. He'll figure it out.
It's PJ, Daryl, and Matt.
My dog's here. He's behind. Oh, you're about to see him.
Yeah,
There he
another
is.
pal. Yeah, this podcast is just riddled with dogs. And they're
And just
you're like,
asshole.
he'll be fine. He'll be nice and calm.
I don't know. I kind of figured. Well, there. He's laying down now.
Let me adjust this. You just stepped on my neck.
That's a good boy.
All right, Matt. It's good to have you back.
He will eventually just lay down.
But not before he
Not
destroys
before
my
he does.
computer.
He's eating something. Daryl,
Uh,
leave it. Leave it. Hey, leave it.
What is
No.
that?
I don't even know.
All right, this is gonna be interesting.
Oh, he's gonna poop it out later.
Yeah.
I said this already. If I have to, I'll bring him home. But
Well,
no, you're not going outside.
I don't like leaving my dogs longer than I have to, anyway. So I get the whole point. Like, hey, let me bring my dog places.
I'm trying to get to a point though with him where he actually calms down. We got him at 5 months old, and he was the worst.
Yeah.
But right now, we just got back from the dog park, and when you do that, he gets all riled up,
Yeah.
and it takes like 20 minutes for him to finally calm down. So I'll just leash him for now. Sit, buddy.
When we take Leo and Parker to the dog park, we don't take them very often, but they literally just sleep for 7 hours after. Like, they don't move.
That's what I kind of wish that I got a smaller dog for that fact. Like Wendy, a friend of ours, has a bulldog, and the bulldog runs for 25 seconds, and then it's just conked out for 3 days.
Yeah, and you got a horse, and
Actually, I'm not kidding. My neighbor can see our backyard from his bedroom window and thought that there was actually a deer in my backyard.
oh, a deer.
A deer, because it was at night, right?
Yeah,
so
it's
he's
the
just
way it
like,
gallops, yeah.
so he saw me the next day. He said, "I thought I saw a deer in your backyard. Turns out it was your dog. What kind of dog is that?" I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a mix of a bunch of things. And then he's, like I said, either he will calm down in 5 minutes, or he'll just
Or he won't.
just do that. He kind of just plays by his own rules. Hey, you're doing camera.
Doing camera.
You're
now.
doing camera
Yeah.
things now. You're really upgrading
It was
yourself. Huh?
it was significantly easier than I thought, and a lot of people were asking for the camera, and like they were like, "Why isn't it on video?" And I'm like, "Well, you know how hard I have to buy cameras, like, and all this stuff, like."
It's
and
kind
then-
of remarkable how.
Because you do it in radio, like you just do it with your phone.
I do it with my phone. I do all the editing through my phone. The easy part though is getting the audio there, but the hard part is because I go back and forth.
Yeah.
And I literally just edit that myself on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of have to sync up all the voices
Yeah.
to the camera as a dog is.
And doing it on your phone's got to be tricky because, like, I do, like, I did some of that stuff I had like a voiceover gig last week for $12 US, and it took me about 8 hours to do.
That's great, man.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So you got paid just over $1 an hour.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And but like if you want to build a career in something, you got to do it for free for a while, like anything, like apprenticeships. And
if you look at Lady Gaga in A Star Is Born, she had to do it inside of drag shows.
Yeah.
But she was a girl.
Yeah.
So she was lucky that they let her play because she was actually a woman. Have you seen that movie?
Kind of. I saw half of it. I saw enough of it to know that Bradley Cooper should have won the Academy Award for Best Actor.
He was great.
I know. And but I'm not a huge fan of good movies.
I sadly enough, I hate to say this, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So like anytime like the Academy Awards come out, I'm just like, I don't care. And like this year was the big thing because it was like Black Panther came out, and it was like, well, this is a movie I usually do care about, like a superhero movie, but I just didn't find Black Panther one appealing.
I never watched it.
Very good. Yeah, like it's not like me and Fez talk about it all the time, but like it's not a bad movie, but it's not. It didn't break the mold in anything.
It kind of did in a sense where it had a black superhero.
It's not the first one though. It's the first one to like kind
That's
of really
true.
like.
There was Meteor Man, who was Eddie Murphy back in '93. So.
Yeah, there's also Blade and
I guess if
there's
you want to go.
Falcon. Like there's War Machine. There's tons of them, right? But
So then, what is his appeal then?
it's the whole African lineage.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it came also though at a pretty important time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And they released it on Black History Month. Like they're smart. But
Did
like
they? I
yeah,
didn't know
like
that.
there's like a lot of like cultural references in the movie that I guess make it good, right? That's like a Canadian superhero. Like we're gonna like it more if he's drinking a bottle of maple syrup than the Americans.
In Deadpool, when he says hailing from Regina, Saskatchewan, everyone went, ah!
Yeah, we liked
it. Lost his mind.
Yeah, and the Celine Dion thing, like
Uh-huh.
that's was it Celine or Shania? No, it was Celine.
Celine Dion was in the second one.
That stuff's cool for us. But Deadpool's actually Canadian. Ryan Reynolds is actually Canadian.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
No, I did know that. I knew Ryan Reynolds was from Vancouver, and I
Yeah.
knew Deadpool. I thought Deadpool was actually from Vancouver also. I didn't know it was Regina.
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine are both Canadian.
Is Wolverine actually Canadian, or did he just like kind of pull the Brock Lesnar and say, I'm from Manitoba?
I believe he is actually Canadian.
I'm going by the movie.
Yeah, no,
I know isn't right.
Well, is anything right? There's so many different when you talk about comic books like Wolverine and Batman or something like that. There's so many different origin stories.
Yeah.
That it's like I don't know.
Well, that's what I felt. Have you seen Captain Marvel yet?
Yeah.
You know the part where
that's not her original origin story.
Yeah, you told me that. But Nick Fury with his eye, I thought he lost it like from a grenade in like World War II or something.
I think I don't know. Well, look, I don't really know much about Nick Fury. I know there's a few of them, like because there is a black one in the comics, and then but he's mainly white.
Yeah,
and I do believe that like he lost it in a significant way, not just a cat
scratching
his eye, which was kind of a waste because it was like, like.
I think it still means something because when the guy said he's like, oh, it's just a cat scratch, the guy's like, no, it's not. It's like, does that mean like he put something in him?
I feel like they had this opportunity to like give a backstory on like the Avengers and all, like how S.H.I.E.L.D. gets started in the 90s, and they were just like, oh, her plane says Avenger.
That's another thing, by the way, that kind of bothered me. So in Iron Man, Buddy there talks about like, he says, I'm part of this organization, like think of a shorter name.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, he goes like, oh, we're calling it S.H.I.E.L.D. But in Captain Marvel, they're like, oh, we're part of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah. Yeah. And Coulson, they brought back this actor. Like I
know.
And they just kind of like, he was in the first, 15 minutes of the movie? And then,
or
not more than that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was saying like, because me and Fez did a podcast yesterday about Captain Marvel, and it was just like, it was like, it's like, I think it's going to be a good movie because like a lot of little girls are going to get into it. They're going to have a superhero to kind of look up to, and not just like Wonder Woman, because like a lot of people don't like Wonder Woman because it's sexualized a little bit. But again, like I was just like, it was good, didn't break the mold. But
you could see Batman's nipples in the fourth one.
Yeah. Well, you can see everyone's nipples. They do like a close up of everyone's butt, and like
I like that scene. He's getting ready. All of a sudden, it's just like ass plate.
I remember seeing that when I was like 12, being like, "Yes, this is awesome." And now I watch it, I'm like, "What are they doing? Just a bat costume."
I love the nipple part though, because it's just like the third one has his nipples, and the fourth one zooms in on his nipples.
Yeah.
And by the way, to clarify what we're talking about, it's his bat suits that has nipples.
Yeah.
Can you see my dog? You can't see my dog. It's cute. He's right here. Good boy.
I know. Anyway, so you bought a house.
I did buy a house.
Yeah, and when you showed me the house the first time, you were like, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I was like, this sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
And immediately, like, you guys were just like, oh, just going to need a fresh coat of paint. And literally, like, you guys did a fresh coat of paint, redecorated.
Yep.
And it looks incredible.
Yeah, the back room, it was my project from day one.
Yeah.
I knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be a pain in the ass, but I knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And then I did it.
Yeah.
And you were there to help me on Saturday.
Very little, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I
gave you some beer. I got hammered. Why I need you to come get me?
That was actually really funny, too.
Oh, my God.
I had to redo some of the things that we did the next day. Like, Shayna got home Saturday night, my wife, and she's basically looked at inside of the room and said, yeah, we're redoing this part, right? I said, yeah, yes, ma'am.
Oh.
And so,
no.
Wasn't anything that you did. The paint looked good. You did a coat of paint. It looked great.
Yeah, and I did all the screwing in your.
You did the plates for all my switches. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I know.
But honestly, I'm actually so proud of what I did because I've never done that before.
Yeah.
I work construction forever, and all my job ever was for every construction job was demolition. I never had to do the actual like fixing. My job was to destroy. So that part was easy, but then when the house was now run down to like base of the studs, I'm like, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And I just figured it out.
Well, you did a good job.
Thanks,
it's not done. The floor looks great.
Floor looks good.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the fireplace. And
I'm going to work on that next weekend.
But yeah, you had quite the quite the month with buying it because they didn't take out any garbage, which is going to be so frustrating. Like,
it was. I got there, so we bought the house, and they had promised us that they were going to get rid of everything, and they did not. Mm-hmm. And so my real estate agent, actually, Jason Matthews, he bought our bin for us. He rented it, he paid for it, and then he came over and helped me for 3.5 hours to throw things out. Uh-huh. He couldn't believe the amount of stuff that was left.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even everything that we got, because we still had more stuff to throw out, including this big projector TV, which you and I...
Yeah.
basically dumped at the place where I used to live and kind of said, screw it, you're going here.
Yep.
And we drove off. Like, we might as well have put it like on wheels in the back of the truck and just hit the gas and just let it fall out.
One time, I'm pretty glad I didn't get into any trouble with this. There's like a mall, it's called the Ryokan in Kingston. And like behind, there's a whole bunch of dumpsters. Mm-hmm. And there's like a movie theater, Cineplex and stuff like that. So when me, Grant, and Lyle, we used to live in a house with 6 other guys. And we had
I love this story, by the way.
What?
I love this story.
Oh, I have told you this?
You told me, but you haven't told everybody else.
Okay.
That's why I love this story, though.
So we, Grant and Lyle were moving to Alberta. I was moving back in with my grandmother. Or no, I was actually moving in with Sam at the time, which was a big step for us because we never lived together. We only been dating for 6-7 years.
Really?
6 years at the time, yeah. We had never lived together.
I'm not kidding. I dated Shayna, officially dated Shayna for a month before she moved in with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big step. Well, Shayna posted the other day. I know we're getting sidetracked. You guys have only known each other for 4 years. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's it.
Moved a lot quicker then. But when me and Sam were 16 in high school, it's different, right? Then we go through college. You don't really start thinking about getting married until you're 25, 26.
I do. Like that's a thing.
Anyway, so Lyle and Grant were leaving. We had lived together for 5 years at the time. I was moving in with Sam, and she already had a bunch of furniture. And then the other guys were we had a falling out with because some money issues because they weren't paying for bills, and we were getting sued.
That would be a
bunch of stuff was happening, right? And so we had to get rid of all this furniture, and we couldn't. We already had paid for a dump truck, like a 1-800 junk thing, and removed a bunch of crap already.
So there was no more.
There was no more room.
Yeah.
So me and one of Grant's ex-girlfriends stole one night a company vehicle.
Yep. And leave the company out of it.
Yep. And we loaded it up with the couches and all that. And we drove behind the Cineplex and unloaded it, which isn't a smart idea because it's maybe it's dark, they can't see the license plate, but they can see the giant company logos on the side of the building.
Yeah.
Of the van. So I'm lucky I didn't get any trouble for that.
I did that with who also will remain nameless, a giant logo on the side of the vehicle. That garbage. Was did you see the license plate? No, but the side of the truck yelled this.
Yeah. Whatever. Obviously nothing came of it, and but we threw it in the dumpster, so it wasn't we just left it there for someone. But
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'm still kind of doing that now. Just because there's more stuff I need to throw out.
Yeah.
But again, I'm still technically paying rent at my last place. I have it for another week.
Yeah.
And so I'm utilizing that dump
Yeah.
So I call it the dump now instead of like the townhouse I was living in.
Yeah.
So like if I'm talking to my wife, I'll say like, "Where you going?" I'm like, "Oh, I took a visit to the dump today."
Dump, yeah.
Like,
You don't realize when you're a kid like how much garbage costs just to get rid of something.
you think it's just gone? I thought about this actually the other day. So whenever I had got anything that was in a box, I'm looking back now. I'm like, how did we get rid of it?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't just go away. But when you're a kid, you think it just does.
Yeah.
So hey, shout out to mom and dad. They're not they're not dead, but
Getting rid of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember taking stuff to a dump one time and unloading it, and like I think it was like $400 for my grandma, and I was like, "Huh?
Yeah.
Like this is garbage."
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
I have no idea how much that dump
Yeah.
cost that the real estate agent paid for.
Yeah.
I assume it's a lot.
Have you ever? Yeah, probably close to $500 or so.
Probably.
Yeah. Have you ever been a garbage truck driver?
No. Have
Oh,
you?
Yes.
When were you a garbage truck driver?
Okay, so I did it twice, 2 days. Now it wasn't like I was
As a
getting paid.
lol?
No, as a lol. For the station I worked at, it was like a day where they wanted people to kind of like public works day, I think, and they wanted to show people what it was actually like to do some of these jobs. And
I like that idea.
And so 2 years in a row, they got me to be a garbage truck person. And with a GoPro on and like ride the back of the truck.
That's a good idea. I might steal that.
And it was fun. Like it was definitely smelly, and like it was like I think it was like a mid-April or something like that. So a lot of people were throwing out stuff, but you just don't realize like how much garbage there is.
Yeah.
And oh my god, there was like those green bins. We had to get rid of those. That every time we opened one of those, like I almost hurled. Like
I'm kind of lucky. So the way the garbage works at my place, and apparently this is just like a normal thing now, is they go green bin every week, blue bin and black bin switch bi-weekly.
Like my house.
Yeah, and then your garbage gets thrown out every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
ours is when the blue bin is out.
Yeah, so ours right now is like basically if you miss a week, you're screwed because that's like a month of not having your garbage thrown out. But what they're doing though is they want it to so that you don't throw out things that are going to smell. They want you to put that in the green bin, which makes sense.
Yeah.
I like the idea. But my garbage reeks now because the garbage in my back of my house is full of dog poo.
Yeah.
So now I just have a garbage can, which thankfully it's still cold outside, so it just freezes. But when it's summertime, I'll have stinky, hot poo.
And there's going to be flies everywhere.
Flies! And just stinky, hot poo.
Yeah. So I'm really bad for this. Like, right at my front door, I just throw the poop bags. And then, like, I think once there's 6, I'll pick them up and I'll go put them in my garbage. But then, like, in the summertime, if there's, like, 1 or 2, it's covered in flies. And then Sam opens the door and she gets mad at me. And I'm like, why don't you clean up the poo?
Why doesn't she? You guys yell at each other?
No, it's because I walk them usually when it's poop time, so... Because I walk them in the morning, so I'll get up. Like Leo usually has to go around 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I get back from hockey, or I get up in the morning, so that's when I walk him, and that's when he does his business.
Your one dog, Parker, poop time is whenever.
Whenever I want.
Whenever he wants.
Yeah, he hasn't developed pooping outside. He's just something he never did.
I walked him one time and he pooped outside.
Which is incredible. I texted Sam that. I was like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, Leo pooped, and then right after that, Parker was like, "No, that's how it's done," and then he pooped.
Yeah, we're gonna crate Parker now at nighttime.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It's just he'll go through this phase where he's really good at going to the bathroom, and then he goes through a phase where he doesn't give a shit about anything, and he pisses where he wants to piss. Like last night, we took him for a walk, and 15 minutes later, he was lifting his leg on like the couch, but it's like his pee pad was right next to it. And we're like, no, like you know better. Like,
well, how would you do it in a crate though? I'm assuming if it's in the room, it's fine.
Well, so we've created him a couple times the last couple weeks, just when we've been sleeping, because he turns to a little bit of an asshole at nighttime now.
You know what it is? I read on this because so does this guy here.
Yeah.
But it's because they can hear things that we can't.
Oh yeah.
So apparently it just drives them insane.
Oh.
Like critters in the walls. So.
Oh. Well, no, so he likes to sleep on us, and then if we move, like usually when he only developed this when we got Leo. If Leo walked near him, he would growl. Well, now it's like he's growling when we're sleeping. Like we just move around in our sleep. So like I would let him sleep, and if he growled at me, I picked him up, walked him downstairs, and I put him in his crate. And then the next night he wouldn't growl.
I see.
But he wakes up, and he's like I take him out of that crate, and he's like, we got to go outside. Like I've held it for 8 hours.
I'm a little dick, eh?
Yeah. So, anyways,
I like Leo. I like Parker.
It's so mean when people say that.
But it's true. Leo's the best. Leo's so cute.
Parker's amazing.
Parker is amazing to you.
Yeah.
But to everyone else, that's like this guy here just jumping on everybody constantly and me saying like, I love Daryl, and no one else is gonna love him.
I like Daryl.
Yeah, I know, because he's finally given up.
You know, it's really rude to say you don't like someone's dog, though. Those are fighting words.
For Parker?
Yes.
Come on.
Okay, I guarantee you, if you babysat Parker for one weekend, Shayna would love him. But
we did that with Leo, and we loved Leo.
Yeah.
I caught Leo like midair because he kept trying to chase my cat.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. But like, it's just the way like Parker curls up like on your neck or something.
But Leo does that.
Yeah, but it's smaller.
Yeah.
Think of like having a pet squirrel. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. I remember the first time I saw you guys, we were on Spark Street for Poutine Fest. Yeah. And I remember seeing PJ as you were walking with the small dog. I'm like, whose dog is PJ holding? And I was with Brittany and Marianne before that. And they were like, that's PJ's dog. I'm like, huh. Yeah. That's when I just got to know you. I'm like, PJ's a small dog guy. Never would have guessed that.
I think I've told you about us getting Parker the first time. Like, it was not planned to get a small dog. Like, it was one of my rules was like, no small dogs, no giant dogs, like your dog. Like, I wanted a medium dog, like a normal sized dog.
You get like a Wheaton Terrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, the minute I got, like, I literally called Sam to say, because we were living in different cities, like, I got the job in Ottawa. And
I thought she moved to Ottawa after, right?
Yeah, because she was, no. She was living in Ottawa for 2 years before I got a job.
For school.
Yeah. And so we were already engaged. And I tried to get jobs up here before, but like when you tell someone like, oh, my girlfriend lives up here, like it doesn't have as much of an impact as your fiance.
Yes, I remember you saying that.
Well, I only had one interview after I said my fiance lives up here, and it worked.
Want to sit down, buddy? I am listening. I'm just trying to make my dog.
Anyways, so I was like, you know, the moment I got off the phone with her, she's like, can we get a dog? And or now we can get a dog. Like, that was like the first thing out of her mouth, because I always told her if we moved in together, we'd get a dog. So my thing was I didn't want a really tiny dog, because her mom had a teacup Yorkie, and which is Parker is actually smaller than, and he's just the runt Yorkie.
I'm still listening. I have to grab his food, which is just out of arm's reach for me.
And then I didn't want a giant dog. Well, so this girl I was working with, I told her that, like, oh, now me and Sam are going to get a dog. Doesn't she start sending Sam litters in the Kingston area?
Of the small dogs.
It was like the first one she saw, like, whatever. And so Sam was like, can we go check? And I was like, oh, these might be too small. And we went, and, like, it was this little, like, it literally fit in the palm of your hand.
He's cute. Like, I'm not going to deny that. He's a cute dog.
And, like, we should have known from the get-go about all this trouble, because she was like, oh, he's the runt, and he's got a big attitude on him. But she's like, he's my favorite. Like, but she literally said, like, he's got a huge attitude to him. And I was just like...
It's not that bad.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then
that one.
Like, but, like, we held him, like, and he was the last one, so he didn't even get to pick, and Sam was just like, sold.
Was he really? You know what? Runts are always the last ones to go. My dog, Samantha, Wheaton Terrier, it was the runt. And yeah, she was the last one to go. Yeah. And her name was Samantha, which is hilarious. So whenever I talk about my dog growing up, it's the same name as your wife.
Yeah, I always find it weird when people give dogs like people names. Like you named Daryl.
His name's Daryl.
Yeah. Grant's dog's Pumpernickel.
How's Grant doing with his dog? I listened to the podcast. He was talking about how his dog, because beagles are, my uncle had a beagle it lived to be 23.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and the dog was insane until I hit about 20 that it slowed down.
Like, so I remember Grant having this dog when we lived on Union. So he was dating a girl who had a beagle, and she would, like, Grant would babysit the dog all the time. And this dog just, like, long skin, would just lie on the bed while Grant played video games, and then he would walk around.
Well, how old was the dog?
I think it wasn't very old.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, it wasn't too old. And Grant fell in love with beagles. So the whole time he moved to Ottawa, he wanted a beagle. And like, you know, I had dogs, and I was just like, dude, pull the trigger on getting a dog. It's literally the best thing you can do.
You have to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, there's no planning with dogs.
Yeah, just
like,
pull the trigger.
Even with this guy, we did the same thing. We literally said, all right, I want that dog. It was available. And we went and got it.
Yeah. And but so he got a beagle and thinking it might be a calm beagle, but no, he got the full-on hunting beagle, like that howls in the night, and like,
poor guy.
Yeah, is ready to go. He says she's getting a little bit better, but like, you got to be really good on training, and like,
they're smart.
That's something me and Sam aren't very good at, training dogs. And you know, Grant could be a little bit better in, but yeah, so he was, you know, and he was, yes. I think it's getting better. Like, he was.
You get to a point where you just kind of I don't want to say give up, but you give in to the way they are, and you're like, all right, this is just what I have to deal with for now. Like that was just like Daryl. I legit was like, all right, I can't bring this thing back because get back.
And like he was in a house. His house is gonna get demolished in June, but like
actually,
yeah. Like they sold the house and stuff like that, and the city's just buying it and demolishing it.
So why?
I don't know. I didn't ask that. You
didn't ask that.
I don't think he knows why. He just has a sign on his front lawn says they're demolishing this in June. But anyway, so he had a roommate move out, and he like had a spare room, and he locked up the beagle. Or no, he didn't lock up the beagle. I think he went away for the weekend, and the people that were supposed to watch the beagle locked up the beagle, or something along this story. And he came back, and the dog ate the door, and like not just like
the middle of it, right?
Like half of the door.
Yeah,
it was incredible. I've never seen anything like that in my life.
I've witnessed him eat walls, like not corners, flat surfaces. I've come home, like, because what we used to do is we would leave him inside of like an actual room because I didn't want to keep crating him.
Yeah.
And he would like get right against the thing and nod it.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, my dog can actually eat walls.
Yeah. And that's like the one thing that's awesome about Parker and Leo's. They never chew anything that's not their toys.
I told you the time that I went to go check on them. You guys were, I think you were at the Ariana Grande concert or some. No,
that does not. Demi
Lovato.
Yeah, I was like, I would not go to Ariana Grande.
I went I came inside, and the gate that you guys had, Parker's was knocked down. Like, how strong is this dog?
I know. Yeah, he climbs it. That's why He's crafty.
He's a spider.
But see, that's what
because he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's Parker.
I didn't catch that. Yeah. Also, the fact that when you said that you first saw me and Parker walking, we were wearing matching Spider-Man.
You were.
Shirts. Yeah.
And it's like, once again, one of those things where I'm like, huh, this is what I'm working with, eh?
Oh, good boy.
Good boy.
Yeah.
It's cute though.
So anyways, so we try and lock him up in like the baby gate or whatever for a while, and he just climbs it. We're like, well, what the fuck are we supposed to do? Like,
I know.
Yeah, but also we like our sleep too much. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I can take him home if you want.
No. I don't. No.
He's confused. The furnace is turned on.
Oh crap! I forgot to turn that off because the mic's picking up. But
I'm pretty sure the mic has picked up him eating.
It's okay.
And whining.
This is a dog-friendly podcast.
It has to be.
Yeah. So, you actually, I think I mentioned this to you yesterday or Saturday, or whatever day it was, that your episode 1 was the most listened to episode, right? Because, like, that's the one I share on Facebook and people check out and stuff.
That one where the mics weren't working.
Yeah, I know. So I'm very upset that one was the most listened to. Well, now the one with the video was the most listened to, so you were surpassed. Yeah.
I should have been a while ago.
Yeah. No, like, oh.
Here. That's a nice MacBook.
Thank you. It's Sam's old one.
Is it? It's nice.
Yeah. There you go.
Get more viewer there.
Yeah, so you were surpassed, which is okay. But you're almost surpassed by Tyler's episode. So Tyler's episode had like almost 80 listens.
His was good. For a guy who was as shy as he was,
and he did not want to do it.
I know, and you said you had to like basically really twist his arm.
So then Lyle's episode, I was like, we're all in a group chat together. So Lyle's like, oh, like they're trash talking each other to get the most views on my podcast now, and I'm like,
that's good.
Well, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, now it's come to the point where now Tyler's coming down this week to do another episode.
Just for the episode?
No, he's also got to do his medicals because he comes to Ottawa to do his medicals because it's easier because he's got an Ontario OHIP card.
Yeah.
Instead of going to Cornwall, his like ex-girlfriend lives here, and I think they see each other. I don't know how it all works. He's not.
Careful, she might be one of 88 people that listens.
He's not one of the. She trains with us at N1. She's a lovely girl, and he's not one of the ones that he doesn't share a lot of information, right? So
he doesn't seem like that type.
Yeah. But yeah, so like him and Lyle are going back and forth now, and now it's gotten to the point where they're gonna just compete, and the winner's gonna get a belt at the end of the year. And I'm like, do I have to support this belt? Like, what happened?
Are you guys going for like podcast guest of the year, like fighter in the cake kind
but
of thing?
It's gonna be most views, so I don't care if they literally click on the video themselves. But
I hope I win. Like again, Daryl, can you just chill? Yeah, there you go. Anyway,
You could win. You potentially could win.
If I win, I'll be really happy, and I'll actually frame that. I'm gonna put that, and I'll put that in my basement.
No.
The belt.
I don't know if I mentioned to you, but I literally had no clue that this many people were gonna listen.
You said from episode 1 that you just did this just to talk to your friends. Pretty
much. And, you know, like, the more and more people that tell me to listen, the more and more people, like, I didn't expect would listen.
Yeah.
And it, like...
Who's the most surprising person who said listens?
Well, hopefully he's listening to this episode because he brought up your name. He was like, I really like the ones with Matt. And, like, even though you had done two. Yeah, but he liked you. So his name's Justin.
It's because I'm the only one who knows how to talk into a microphone.
Probably. Well, Grant does too. But
Grant was really, and again, Grant was really good too. Not that I'm like, wow, I never expected it, but Grant, the way he spoke was really good.
Yeah.
Your buddy Ty was really good too, even though you had to drag him downstairs.
Yeah.
Sorry for everybody else I haven't listened yet.
No, it's fine. But yeah, so JD's was great too because JD is also another former broadcaster, and he's a encyclopedia when it comes to boxing and stuff like that. So.
Who'd you have that you did the, like they weren't in studio?
Lyle.
That was Lyle? Lyle was good too.
Yeah, Lyle. Well, me and Lyle used to do a podcast together.
Oh, okay.
With Grant in Kingston. And it was called The Cobra Den.
I don't know if you can share a story here, the story about the lawn.
Yeah, well, we talked about it on the podcast.
Okay, you did talk about it.
Yeah,
okay,
that's how we brought it up.
Okay, yeah, because, PJ brought it up to me the last episode there, and PJ has stories sometimes where I'm confused why it's the first time I'm hearing them. I've known you for nearly 3 years now. Yeah. And yet these stories come up. Like, tell me that on day one.
Well, like, I'm not just going to tell you that I tried to poop on some lady's lawn.
You should have, because actually the first time PJ and I hung out, we went to a gala together as each other's date.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
On the way to Quebec, because it was at the Casino Lac Lamy. You should have said, by the way, one time I rocked a grumper on some guys.
Yeah. Well, like, so Sam was in here for this story, and Lyle brought up that we went to a strip club, and she didn't know the part that we went to a strip club.
Did she care?
She wouldn't care now.
She would have cared then.
Maybe. We're 20.
Yeah, you would have cared.
Like, we had gone to strip clubs. One time we went to... There's 2 strip clubs in Belleville. Belleville's not a very big area.
It's not.
One was called the Cabaret, and people called it the Scab. It wasn't very good.
If you call a strip club the Scab, it's not going to be good.
Anyways, I think we went with Sam for that one, and it was amateur night.
Nice.
Yeah, and because I'm pretty sure it was like her and Lyle, and they were in the same program together. It wasn't a girl in my program, and this girl got up on stage. She was in their program.
Oh, really?
And danced, and it was not good.
If you know what, I have no issue with people who are strippers. I mean, especially you have to be good. But if all of a sudden I saw somebody who I knew, like if I went to a strip club in Mississauga and this girl who I knew from my high school was a stripper, I wouldn't look at her and be like, oh, you hit rock bottom, because they make great money.
No, it wasn't like, oh, like I definitely didn't, like nobody judged her.
No, I know that. Obviously she wasn't good because it was amateur night.
Well,
I'll walk in front of the thing.
I also wonder how much of it was planned. She wasn't wearing the best underoos for the situation either. So...
What do you mean?
She was like, they weren't granny panties, but they weren't necessarily something you would take out on stage.
She have skid marks. Stop walking in front of the damn thing.
No, but they had lots of holes in them, which was weird.
See, I thought that would be good though, because it's like, hey, put it anywhere.
No.
That's why I got my wife in bed for the first time.
Hey,
oh, it goes anywhere.
But so the part of the story I didn't tell Sam was, so we went to the strip club, and the strippers got mad at us because we weren't paying attention to them, because we didn't care. Like, it was dollar beers, like that's what we went for.
They do care. It's surprising.
And well, they care.
Yeah, they care. That's what I'm
but we
saying.
didn't care.
No, I know you didn't care. I'm saying the strippers do care, because that's how they make their bank.
Yeah, it was Tuesday night, and
Tuesday,
and so this one girl wearing a Toronto Maple Leafs like pink jersey of some sort,
nice, sat
on our table that we were eating, and it was uncomfortable, right? Like, it was like she was trying to get attention, but she was a big girl, like
a plus size. She's a tick tag.
Yeah, like
a tick gal.
Not even like like
not pleasantly plump, just a tick thing.
Yeah,
a lot of folds we shouldn't be.
Yeah,
if she literally could say, you put it anywhere and mean it. Got it.
And so she like took my phone at one point, and like it was a flip phone, and I was just like, what are you doing? Like,
was it a Motorola?
No. What was it? It wasn't a Razor.
That's Motorola.
Okay. It wasn't. It was like a Fido or something. It wasn't cool.
Fido's the name of a company, PJ.
Okay, well, whatever. It wasn't cool. Like, I literally did not want a cell phone growing up, and my parents made me get one.
And 95?
In 95?
You're 95 years old.
Yeah. But so she took it, and, like, instead of, like, being like, hey, give that back, and, like, starting something, I was just like, whatever.
Yeah, you didn't care.
And I was like, what are you doing? Like, and she's like, I'm putting my number in it. Like, she had, like, a Western accent of some sort. And I was like, okay, like, I'll delete the number.
Yeah.
Like, what's the harm? And
this is before the time of passwords on your phone.
Yeah.
You flip that bad boy open, you just got access to everything.
Yeah, I don't even know why I had my phone on the table and stuff like that. And
You wanted to show it off.
Yeah, that's definitely not it. And yeah, so we're leaving and I get my phone back, and she deleted all the contacts in my phone except for her Gmail, or it was Angel Fire of some sort. Like, it was so bad. And like the Angel Fire had 6'9", and like even at 19, I was like, that's lame. Fucking loser.
Do you remember your first, like, did you ever have like a really lame like Hotmail, like?
Absolutely.
What was it? What was your first one that you used?
Okay, I remember 2. I can't. Oh, so actually, I remember 3. So one of them, I was in this clan in Age of Mythology, and it was called the Blue Clan.
Oh.
And so my name was Blue Lightning in Age of Mythology, which wasn't a very cool name at the time.
At the time.
Yeah. So that was my first Hotmail. And then I remember there was like a band song, and like, so I made that one. It was like Rejection Letter or something like that.
That was the name
of the song.
Okay.
So then I like had my Hotmail being like Rejection Letter
at
something at hotmail.com. And then the worst one, because then like 2 years later, I'm like, oh, that's lame. I was really into wrestling.
I'm waiting to see what he does.
Well, I gotta have to adjust the. Daryl, for the love of God, sit down.
He's trying to get comfortable. He doesn't know where he is. Poor guy.
Yeah. So then,
I'm listening.
I was really big into wrestling for a while, and Stone Cold Steve Austin came out with a shirt that said "Fuck fear, drink beer," and I was like, "That's the greatest thing in the world."
That's a great one.
So I made that my Hotmail. So that was my Hotmail until I think I went to college, and then made it pjstmarie@hotmail.com. Like if I go back to my MySpace, that was like because I tried to log into my MySpace, but I found my MySpace a few days ago.
Unfortunately, did everything get deleted?
No, it's still there. Like all my top 8 and stuff like that's still there.
I could not tell you what my MySpace is, but MySpace apparently lost all their stuff from 2003 to 2012, all their music, which is lead me to the question: who's using MySpace in 2012?
Yeah. There's a great story about like that Tom guy getting offered to buy someone buying MySpace and him turning it down, and now he's probably like, crying in some gutter. Like,
well, Justin Timberlake bought it.
Oh, he did buy it?
Yeah, a while ago.
Oh, okay. So whatever.
I read this article about where Tom is now. He like travels the world, writes articles. He's doing fine.
Oh, okay.
And thank goodness he was my first friend on MySpace.
Yeah, I like to think the worst. But like, oh my God, like the people that are in my top 8, like in MySpace, I'm like, what was I doing? Like, obviously you're.
What was the top 8?
Like that was your top 8 friends.
Oh yeah, they had that.
And then like,
oh God,
like a lot of them were girls. But now I look back, I'm like, I should have just had like these guys, like my bros, in my top 8. Like,
you put girls because you wanted to seem like sensitive or what?
I don't know.
The things we did, man. The things we did.
Yeah.
The shit we said. I remember. Yeah, I was such. God, I remember this is embarrassing. When MSN was first a thing, I used to be so shy. I could not talk to women, and this is not like a joke. Like, no, I could not do it. I would go beat red. I was like Raj from Big Bang Theory. Did he knock it over again? Yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
I don't abide by your rules, Daryl. Anyway, so. Couldn't talk to them. So I remember on MSN, I was writing to this girl, Michelle, and telling her that I'm going to say hi to her tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to say hi. And then I didn't. This was grade 7 or grade 8 or something. So it's not like when I was young. I was in grade 8. So I remember I passed by Michelle. I didn't say hi. And then Katie, I had a big crush on Katie. And so we're going to prom or whatever grade 8 prom was, formal, whatever.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go with Katie, so I asked her on MSN, and she said yes on MSN. And then I was supposed to ask her in person. I didn't do that. I couldn't do it. It's too shy.
Yeah.
I'm shy.
Too shy.
I can't. You should ask Katie. I can't. Why? I'm shy.
And now kids aren't shy at all. Like
no.
Kids are already on Tinder at 13. So.
Oh God, I was listening to like.
First of all, before we get into this, I want to know what your worst Hotmail was.
I didn't have any bad ones. My first was literally like my first one was honestly it was Matthew _ and then DePowell at hotmail.com. And then I had one that was like Matt Smasho.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. like Matt _ Smasho.
Okay.
Because I wanted to be like Spanish Hulk.
Okay. Oh, fantastic.
No, that was I had nothing cool. I have like one now that's pretty lame. It's Matt and Shane at gmail.com, which I never use.
Oh.
But that's my wife's name.
Yeah.
But we had it for our registry for our website.
Oh, yeah.
I have not used
There's
it.
a lot of things I did as a kid that I could go back and be like, don't do.
MSN was my big one.
Like I had blue mohawk.
I had frosted tips.
Yeah, I probably had those too. I wore overalls. Like,
Yeah,
I went through like a metal
you
phase.
though would still do that today.
No.
Yes, you would.
I'm clean cut.
Yeah, I know you are, but
clothes.
you would wear overalls. Like if somebody say out of your friends who would wear overalls, I'd say PJ would.
Oh yeah, I probably would. But
you wear a fanny pack, and not even in
fanny packs are coming back.
I know one other person.
Oh, I know a lot of friends in Quebec that all rock them.
That's great. Quebec is in Canada. I have no issue at all with people who wear fanny packs. I want a Merce.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll rock a fanny pack when I become a father.
Joe Rogan, tried to bring them back.
I think Joe Rogan's a fine fella.
Yeah, he has his own, leather ones on his website.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's great. I'll look into that.
Okay, go on what you were saying about, not MSN. You were saying something.
MSN. It was about MSN. So,
we're talking about kids these days.
Okay, kids these days. Okay, I'll get into that one there. So, kids these days, I was listening these kids. I was at the mall during March break, and I was there to get them a haircut. And so I'm just kind of sitting there and listening to the children speak.
Yeah.
First off, my mind is these kids are idiots. But then you hear some of them talk, and they're talking about politics and what's going on in the world. Oh. And I think it has a lot to do with social media because there's a lot more access to it.
Yeah.
But all I'm thinking to myself is this 15-year-old's talking about politics. Meanwhile, when I was 15, I was like rocking grumpers in a forest.
Yeah.
They're either so much more advanced than we are. Like us as kids, we were idiots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because our generation, we also had like the Attitude Era in WWE.
Yeah.
Right? So we just
Did you ever get hurt trying to play wrestle? Yeah.
Of course.
I broke my toe actually during March break. My friend tried to powerbomb me and my foot got stuck in the ceiling.
That's more than what I had. I tried to flip a guy on a trampoline and his elbow hit my forehead and I had a goose egg about that big.
Oh, Jesus.
And then his dog, which a beagle, back to beagles, ran downstairs and scratched my eye. So I had a scratch right down here.
Eesh.
But it didn't become a scar, which I wish it did.
Yeah.
Because how badass would that be?
Yeah.
Just like...
Yeah. Could you imagine just having an eye patch now, like in your life? Like...
As a kid, that would suck. Now?
Yeah. Now it's like, fuck. Yeah.
There's so many things now that if they were around when we were kids, like to know this much about comic books,
yeah,
now is cool.
Yeah.
When we were kids, you were a loser.
I play a lot of video games as a kid, and I was not cool.
You're cooler than I was. Could you talk to girls? Your top 8 were girls.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't do too bad in that department. I was very good.
Yeah, when I was like 9, I was a stud.
Yeah, but so like my grade 9, like I had like beautiful like hair and like all this stuff, like it was good. And then I blame my dark ages on the NHL going into lockout. So and
you had mentioned this to me before.
So there was no hockey in the NHL, and that's what I watched. And that's when that was the year where I got really into like heavy metal music and all that stuff. And that's
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park was the start.
Yeah.
13 years ago yesterday, Meteora was released.
Is that Linkin Park?
Yes. 16 years ago, sorry. Linkin Park Meteora, like faint. That's not how it goes. I have no rhythm or no, like, Hey, PJ, like, sing this song.
Sing Kansas. Carry on my way with son.
Yeah, so I got really like, and I remember when hockey came back, and that's when my hair started to come back to normal. And
oh, you started like the normalcy of life kind of came back to it. That's good.
But yeah, I should call Gary Bettman. Like, you made me like a freak in high school.
I guarantee he's got like a waiting list right now for people who want to scream at him.
So, but yeah, like grade 9, yeah, I didn't play football, but yeah,
yeah, that was my jam.
Grade 10, I played football.
I thought playing football would make me cool because you always see like Friday Night Lights, the high school football team were like the thing.
Yeah.
And then I went to high school and I was like, I'm going to join the football team. Canadian football.
It's still cool. No, it was the coolest thing in my school.
Hockey?
No. Cheerleading.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Cheerleading was just the coolest thing. We had a good team, and so I remember one kid, his name was TW, we called him. Because we had a lot of friends named Tyler, and so his last name was Dub. So TW. That's how it came. Tyler Dub.
T-Dub would have been better than TW.
So I called him T-Dub.
You just said TW.
Oh, sorry. I think it was T-Dub. Whatever.
T-Dub's a cool name, so I'm going to say I'm going to assume that's T-Dub.
Yeah, I wasn't very good with nicknames, but my friend Eric, you've met Eric, right? So
probably.
Yeah, he was in my wedding party, and he was the one who came out and visited me like about a year ago. And
I did meet him. His
car broke down on the highway.
Yeah, on the highway.
Yeah.
Wasn't he having a pretty rough go, and now he's got like a food stand?
No, like he runs a food truck.
Yeah,
but he like doesn't own it.
It's still cool though.
But yeah, like he had a rough patch. But he just got back from South America.
Nice.
He went there for 2 months just to do cooking and stuff like that.
Oh, see, that's wicked. Good for him.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get him to come up here. But anyways,
he's a good time.
He used to give everybody nicknames.
He's one of those guys?
Yeah, everyone had nicknames.
I wish I had a friend like that.
And yeah, so everyone had nicknames, except for, I don't think I had a nickname, but my name's a nickname, so I don't think...
PJ.
Yeah.
You can't make a nickname of that.
He calls me Marie, though, but I think that started after high school, but whatever.
Marie. I know your last name, obviously, but yeah, it's still funny.
Yeah, he'll just mess with me like, hey, Marie, like, he's a gem, that guy.
But what's funny is Marie takes longer to say than just PJ.
Yeah.
Usually nicknames just tighten everything up.
But so we call him Parmesan, sorry, because like that's what he came up with his nickname. Because
you can't come up with your own nickname.
But like
it's a rule.
Because he thought it was funny because it's like Parmesan, but Parma John. And I was like, but like Eric,
no
like,
kidding.
Like, my initials are PJ. Like, wouldn't it work better if I took Parmesan? Like, but so I still call him it to this day. Sometimes I call him Parma. But
those are good names.
Me and him were like best friends in high school, and we you ever go joyriding? Like
on the road and
yeah, like take a car and go joyriding.
Like steal a car?
Yeah. No, we didn't steal a car. Okay, so his parents, he had 2 siblings.
Okay.
So first of all, we're out in the middle of nowhere in the country.
By the way, no, I never have because I owned a car at 16. So.
Well, yeah, so we weren't 16.
Yeah, but I was too much of a pussy to actually.
So his parents bought him a car. It was like a little red Honda Civic, I want to say.
Cute. What was his name?
We called it Red Rocket.
Not clever.
What? Not clever?
Not clever.
For 15-year-olds, it was goddamn clever.
I guess.
I forget what we called mine. I had a black car. Actually,
was it Black Betty?
No, I had 3 cars in a span of 8 months.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah. Yeah, so like his parents left one day and neither of us had our license, but his parents had bought him this used car, and so we took it out and we started driving. We didn't know how to drive, right? So you just like push on the gas and you slam on the brakes. And
yeah, that finding out how much you're supposed to put the weight onto the brake to the gas was like what? It's like science you've never heard of.
Yeah. So yeah, so we almost crashed it. But so we brought it back, and like because it was such like a
hunky piece of shit.
No, like we almost crashed. We were like, yeah, we should wait till we get our license. Like it taught us to get our license before we started driving. Like taking this exam would be better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I crashed my car twice in 3 days. My first car I got after getting my license, and then
were they your fault? I'm gonna stop myself. Yes, they were.
One of them was not, but. Probably I could have done better.
That makes it your fault.
Shut up. So the first one was I went to a concert and like there was a small parking lot and there was like 20 cars in this small parking lot. So I was trying to like back up and I had this like really big Chrysler and I scratched some car and I just drove away. And my dad was just like, I was like, I hit a like a thing in drive through. My dad was like, there's other cars paint on it. I was like, ah. And then
now, was that one not really your fault?
No, that was 100% my fault.
Okay.
The one that royally messed up my car and was we went to this like house party in Gananoque, just north of Kingston, and it was snowing because it was I got my license Valentine's Day, and so this was like I think February 17th. It was like the Saturday, and we're driving down this hill and we hit black ice. But so the car in front of us, so I was going pretty slow because the car in front of us also hit that black ice, and it was a van, and they flipped their van.
How fast are you going?
I wasn't going very fast.
But them?
I don't know.
Oof.
But because we saw it, like when we didn't see it flip, but we came around this corner and we saw it.
Now, did it flip because it kind of like turned and then just hit a patch? And that's how I envisioned it.
I didn't see it.
Okay.
We just saw it like on its side as we're coming down in the snowbank. So I hit the brakes and the brakes don't work.
No.
And we just drive straight into the snowbank, right? You think nothing of it. Try and push the car out. You're trying to push the car out, but it's like snow.
Yep.
Tow truck comes. When you're 16 years old, you don't dress appropriately.
No.
February.
Cold.
I'm in a sweater.
Yep.
Like a zip-up sweater.
Yep.
Eric's in like a pullover. He used to wear like, the Freddy Krueger sweaters?
Oh, yeah.
He used to wear those all the time because...
a loser?
No, Kurt Cobain.
Loser.
Yeah. And we were both in Dickies shorts and Converse All-Stars.
And you know why? Because, hey, mom and dad, don't worry. I'm going just from my front door to the car.
Yeah. That's exactly
Yep.
Well, so we're waiting in the cold. Can't get the car out. Tow truck comes, pulls. They called the tow truck the people that flipped, obviously. So they got them out first. And they had a broken mirror and they drove away and that was it. Pulled out my car
and
turn it on. We start driving away and it's not heating up. Something's wrong. And like we blew a head gasket. So we break down on the side of the road. Car won't turn on. Nothing. It's 4 a.m. I remember calling my parents, getting so mad at them, like because they weren't coming to come get us. Like, but we were literally freezing out in the middle of nowhere. Me, Sam, Eric, and this other girl that he was dating.
I like that. Out of all the things to break down in your car when you're wearing shorts, it's the heat.
Yeah. So that was the second accident in 3 days, and then we blew the head gasket, got the car fixed, but it was never the same.
Mm.
So the cool thing about what was broken in the car, it's cool now, is if it got too hot, it wouldn't start. So in the summertime, when I drove somewhere, I'd have to let it cool down for over an hour before I could turn it back on.
Really?
Yeah. And then we tried to get whatever piece was broken off, and it was like melted to the engine. This is your car from now on.
This is how I have to live the rest of my life.
Yeah. So
you know when you get so used to doing something with such a shitty car, and then you get a new one.
Yep.
And it's like heaven.
Mm-hmm.
That was me with my other car that I had. So I had a car it was a Cat Williams.
Yeah.
It was a Nissan Altima, like 97 or 96 or something like
nice.
that. If you stopped the car, it turned off. So I remember I was at a wedding in Guelph, and there was the steep hill that was going up, and I had to keep on kind of hitting the brakes because of it. But every time I hit the brakes, the car kept turning off. So what I would have to do is drive it up, throw it into neutral, rev the engine, and then put it back into drive. And that's what I had to do at stoplights, stop signs, and it sucked going up hills.
Yeah. Because
you throw a car neutral up a hill, it's going down.
Yeah.
So I'm like, literally, so the whole time it's like, down. And I got rid of it. I got a new car.
Yeah.
This thing keeps breaking on me anyway, but still.
Yeah, your rare Nissan Rogue.
It's a very rare pearl Nissan Rogue.
That's what the car salesman told you.
Yeah. So
and how rare is it?
You see it everywhere. He was such a piece of shit. He did not listen. I wish I didn't buy the car off of him. I actually do like my car, but I wish I didn't buy from him because it gave him commission. Yeah. But he was just such a tool. And one of the things he said to me was like, bro, you got yourself an SL Nissan Rogue Pearl, rare, super rare.
Yeah. That should have been your first.
When he kept calling me bro, I should have done that. Yeah. But I will say this though: there's not a lot of SL road Nissans. A lot of SVs, not a lot of SL.
Oh.
So he wasn't 100% lying to me, which is nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't we do all this thing like Stone Cold Steve Austin or what?
Oh, we were gonna do that for April 1st. Yeah. We can't do it now with video.
No, I can't. I know.
No, but so
You hold on. We can't do it because of video. Because what? It's going to give away I'm not Stone Cold Steve Austin.
yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, because we didn't segue it very well.
No, I know you mentioned Stone Cold like an hour ago. I wanted to bring it up.
Oh yeah. So for April Fools, I wanted to do a mock episode with you and pretend you're Stone Cold Steve Austin because you have a great Stone Cold Steve Austin impersonation.
I only do like one impression.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, but just when that's done, it ends.
Well, show us. Do you like beer?
Okay, here it is. What am I having tonight? Beer, tequila, shot of whiskey, another beer, more whiskey. What?
What?
That's my Stone Cold, everybody.
I totally stole that joke on Facebook, and it made it so much better because I was like, I was talking to some friends about wrestling, and someone brought up Stone Cold. I was like, "You guys want to see my Stone Cold impersonation?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." I just typed in what.
So every time, Wendy and myself. So in the morning show that I do. Every time Wendy and I, my co-host, talk about wrestling, and she brings up or just talks about Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Every time she brings him up and says, "Oh, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's going to be in a new movie with Kevin Hart."
Yeah.
And then she'll finish the story, and I say, "Who was the guy who you just said Dwayne The Rock Johnson's doing a movie with?" And she'll say, "Kevin." I'll say, "It doesn't matter who it is." And I do it every single time. And Dwayne The Rock Johnson is in the news all the time. And so she never remembers.
Yeah.
Who was the guy's name again? Oh, it doesn't matter what his name was. Like, that's wrestling. That's what The Rock says.
Yeah.
That's what I like doing.
Wrestling's like at its peak right now.
I thought it was at its peak for the Attitude Era.
That
was when I thought it was. Like, that's what in my mind, everyone watched it.
Well, yeah,
Probably
I think everyone watched wrestling, but a guy we know went to like this like Ottawa wrestling show in town, and I remember like people always tried to get me to go to these shows, and like you'd see the crowd and there'd be like 15 people.
Yeah.
Well, now it's like you can't walk around, right? Like outside.
Yeah.
Like in these shows, and like apparently their numbers are so big, and like because WrestleMania is coming up and stuff like that. So
I hear that if you actually go to those shows, then you have a 100% chance of not getting an STI because there's a 0% chance of you having sex.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I read that somewhere. Yeah.
What a joke, man.
It's not really a joke. Yo, you watch wrestling? You grown man?
Yeah. I'm actually getting a buddy to come in and do an episode for WrestleMania because that's like the one that you can watch.
Can I beat him up?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay. I would never do that. I actually don't care if you watch wrestling or
not. But yeah, like it's just a fun podcast. Like I don't care.
I gotta like looking into it a bit. I know that Roman Reigns guy had cancer and now he is
does not have cancer.
Yeah, he's in remission.
Yeah, which is a pretty cool story.
Yeah, it is neat. I like that. See, that's the thing. I like stuff like that because it's real life, right?
The big thing right now is like the ex UFC champion Ronda Rousey.
Rowdy Ronda
is in the WWE now, and they so now they're introducing her boyfriend or her husband or whatever they are in WWE as well. His name's Travis Brown. So failed UFC fighter.
I want to Google him. Keep talking.
And the reason why he's a failed UFC fighter is because he
liked wrestling too much.
No, he started dating Ronda Rousey, and then he switched his coach to go with Ronda's coach, who has no right coaching anybody in MMA. Like he single-handedly like ruined Ronda Rousey's career, I think. Anyway, so then this guy's career also went down the toilet. But the reason why, so his ex-girlfriend or ex-wife, this guy Travis Brown, he's
a good-looking guy. He's a big dude.
Yeah. So he came in the UFC. Oh my
God, I would not mess with that man.
He was like undefeated and stuff like that. It was a big rising star. But yeah, so he got divorced from his last wife because he beat her up.
Oh, I don't like that then.
So the WWE posted a photo of Ronda Rousey and Travis Brown, and it was like, "What are you looking at?" And the comments were fantastic. The first comment was like, two dudes who like to beat up women. He was just like
that.
It's just like sometimes the internet's so good.
Internet is undefeated.
Undefeated.
Like you get a lot of crap on the internet, a lot of idiots, but man, I would not trade.
Idiots,
I would not trade it for the world.
Yeah.
Because if someone were to say to me it's full of idiots, but you get a lot of this stuff, I'm like, I'll take it.
And like it's crazy what they just like they can find or what they come up with. Like so, Gronk retired yesterday.
Yeah, thank God.
And
the closest thing we have to a fucking Neanderthal in this world. His name is Gronk.
I know. Someone found like his yearbook photo. They posted it, which was only like 9 years ago.
He probably looks the exact same.
Know what his hobbies were?
Does it say 69 in there somewhere?
No, it's close though. It said his hobbies are football, partying, and chicks. I was like, who is this man? Oh my God, whose hobbies are chicks?
Oh man, that's amazing. You know what? Of course it is. Yeah. Of course it is.
But he had frosted tips too.
Of course he did. I'm surprised he still doesn't.
Yeah.
These aren't cool anymore.
These are cool. But
that guy, man. Oh, I still. One of my favorite things he ever said was he scored a touchdown. Great. I mean, I'm never going to take away how great he was as a tight end. He was wicked. He had one touchdown. It was a one-handed grab and like jumped over 3 guys or something like that.
Yeah.
And he gets to the sidelines. He's like, I don't even know how I did that. And the way he said it, I just went, I'm getting angry watching him say that. And I'm angry. I don't want to be, but I am.
Oh yeah, there's like interviews of him like talking after a game, like, and it's just like it's like a soundboard, like team played well.
Yes.
Brady.
One of my favorite things he did do was I think 2 years ago when they were in the Super Bowl for the 50th time. Somebody said, "Can you surpass your amount of touchdowns or something like that, or receptions, which is you're currently at 69?" And he goes, 69. Yeah, I think so.
Like there's I'm not a huge fan of Family Guy anymore, but a few years ago they did an episode where, because they live in Boston, right? Boston. And Gronk moves next door to Peter.
Oh, yeah?
Gronk voices his own character. Fuck, it's so funny because he just makes fun of himself the whole episode, like just being a party animal and like.
You know, he wants to get into acting now, eh? He wants to be the next The Rock.
Yeah,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Well, look back. The Rock's not a tremendously good actor, you know.
You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. He's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of our generation.
He 100% is.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger was a fine actor. Nice to meet you. That's my Arnold Schwarzenegger, everybody.
Yes, it's fantastic.
I know.
But I love Arnold.
Oh, so do I.
I love The Rock, too.
One of my favorite movies, and I like The Rock as well, one of my favorite movies has to be with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. It's called The Escape.
Escaper.
Yeah, The Escape. Yeah, it's just I think it's just called The Escape.
Artist.
Whatever. They're in a jail and he has to escape.
Plan.
Is that what it's called?
That's what it is.
Good for you. I loved it because it was Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, but you had 2 people you can't understand in the same movie.
Yeah.
So the movie was legitimately just. And then they got off the boat.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it again. I've watched it twice.
Expendables, I think it's 2 with, that's when The Rock, that's like, so the first Expendables was when like Stallone and like Schwarzenegger teamed up. Like they were in a movie for the first time ever, Expendables 1.
Yeah, but Schwarzenegger didn't do anything though.
I think he was still like part of being a governor. And the second one, he actually kills people.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, the first one, because I remember he was the one who was like, you gotta do this.
Yeah.
So.
And then they had Bruce Willis and stuff. Stallone's going to be on the JRE sometime soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would listen to that.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that episode with Kanye West? Did that happen?
Joe talks about it all the time. Is just that Kanye is busy and it's going to happen. It's just.
Because I thought it happened.
No. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Don't be upset.
The dog's laying down.
Yeah. Might as well get as much in as we can while the dog's quiet.
Well, I told you too. It'll take about 20 minutes and he'll just kind of quit.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, I was looking at pictures of Andre the Giant yesterday. I found one of him and Schwarzenegger and him and The Rock.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. Andre the Giant's a lot bigger than Schwarzenegger.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
He is. His nickname is a giant.
Yeah. It's
and
fantastic.
that's not too far from the truth. He was a giant man.
Well, so what happened was me and Sam were watching a movie, and then like the end of the movie, it's just it's Robert De Niro going, one time Andre the Giant went to the Playboy Mansion and stacked up 5 girls, and you know.
What movie is this?
Dirty Grandpa. It's fantastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so Sam was like, did that really happen? I was like, I don't think so, but
Andre the Giant's folklore tales, like I one time saw Andre the Giant drink a barrel of beer and kill 6 men in a bar.
Yeah. Yeah, but so I Googled to find out if this was real or not. I don't think it was, but yeah.
How do you Google that? Did Andre the Giant
I Googled
5 girls at the same time?
Yeah. Yeah. I Googled that, and then I just like typed in like Andre the Giant legend stories or myth, like what I forget what the exact search was, but like legendary stories. And it was all just about him like drinking a bunch of wine and then wrestling and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know he had problems.
Or like eating steaks and stuff like that.
Apparently he had like what I felt bad for him though, for real, was he could drink the bar.
Yeah.
And he always had a hard time because nobody, obviously, on this planet could keep up with him.
Yeah.
So he would always be so lonely.
Yeah.
So he'd have to drink so much before actually going to a bar.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's sad. Poor guy.
Well, that's if you need to drink, right? Like,
But he did.
just to have fun. Like,
That's what he did.
I know.
He had to.
Yeah. But he didn't
It's not like you and me. He can't just sit here and do a podcast and break this chair and drink a beer.
break this chair.
Yeah. You think this chair would support him?
Oh, no,
Andre the Giant?
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. We did get drunk on Saturday, fixing stuff.
We did.
Yeah.
And by we, you did.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get drunk often. But
You don't. Actually, it was kind of funny, too. So I was talking to my wife when she got home. I said, yeah, PJ was over. He got really drunk. And she just laughed. She goes, good for him. Like, because you never drink.
I was sitting on your couch like, Sam, come get me.
I know. We got a bite to eat also. We watched some hockey. It was a good time.
Yeah. I went home and I napped.
Yeah, that's
it
what.
was 7:00 at night.
Yeah.
And wife was not happy with me napping. But I was like, don't worry, I'll get back up. And 10:00, I was like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Like, it's party.
And what did you think of the paint job that she did?
Fantastic. Yeah.
Good.
I'm so glad I had no part of it.
Now, this was another conversation that Shane and I had. Shayna said to me, PJ came here, but his wife was doing stuff at home. And I said, I'm pretty sure that was a mutual understanding that PJ has to go when, yes.
Yeah. I just, like, I don't know, maybe I'm not the best husband, but when it comes to stuff around the house, I don't care. And
Yeah, that does matter. I got to see if I can find.
We're just renting this house. Like, why does it matter if the room is red? Like, what? Like, are we losing sleep over it? Like, she wants to take out the carpet and put hardwood floor, and I'm like, but it's not our house.
If you own this place, what if you try to buy it? Because then the owners.
No backyard.
You don't have a backyard now, and you live here.
Yeah, but so if we're gonna buy something, we're gonna buy something in the backyard.
This place would be cheap.
Yeah, she thought about that too, but
You already put so much money into it. If you put hardwood flooring in here, I just want you to know, because you own this or you rent this place, I will not help. If you own the place, I would gladly help.
Yeah.
But if you're renting a place, I'm not doing something for somebody else to benefit from.
If we're gonna buy a house, we're not gonna buy it. We're not gonna buy this. We've lived here for 2 years, and we paid someone's mortgage for 2 years. Then it's adding like an extra 2 years. Doesn't make sense.
I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
but
start looking.
Oh, she's looking. Don't worry.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I just like. I don't like yesterday we went to a flea market and she's like, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And like at the end of the day, I don't have a preference or don't. It's not that I don't care. It's like,
can I tell you what I think it is?
What?
It's because you don't own this place, so you don't care about decorating it, and that actually does matter.
Well, no, like she bought a couch the other day and she was like, which one do you like? This one or this one? I'm like, I need you to make this decision because I don't like. I just want a couch. Like,
you know what I do? I pick one, and then she'll go the opposite.
Yeah, I was
like and then like my wife's gonna pick whichever one she likes regardless.
Yeah.
So I'll say I like this one more, and she'll say, "Oh, okay," and then she's like, "But you know what?" I'm like, "Okay," because all it is just to make their decision easier.
Yeah, but she picked one, so there was like an option between two, and she wasn't sure which one. One of them she could get today, and one of them she had to wait to get.
Yeah. Would you go to Leon's?
What?
Would you go?
At
the flea market?
No. Structube.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, it's right next to IKEA.
That's Leon's. Oh, that place. Yeah, I know you're talking. Yeah, it's already. It's in the same plaza.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
okay.
like we have to wait another 2 weeks or so for it to come here. But like, so if she's willing to wait, then this is definitely the one for her.
Okay.
But like for me, like I care more about toys and goalie pads and boxing gloves and
Yeah, that makes sense.
stuff, important stuff. So
It sounded like you just said porn stuff.
I said important stuff.
I got that part.
Yeah.
Like afterwards.
Oh, Leo's freaking out.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, she's like, "Can you get him? I have calls to make, so I gotta pee really bad." So.
Okay, so we're gonna end it.
Yeah, it's been over an hour.
Has it? Hey,
Yeah.
look at this. Hi.
Yeah.
Hi, Daryl.
And know what's nice now? The video, people can see what we're talking about in the room because there was like the first like 6 episodes.
I was
Yeah.
pointing things out.
People kept bringing up this this canister of ooze. This is what it looks like. In case you're wondering.
This was the tower I was talking about the first episode.
Yeah,
I
you
think.
didn't know Nakatomi Tower?
Never saw it.
Very upsetting.
Still haven't seen it. I'll wait till Christmas.
And this poster's ruined now because my favorite fighter of all time tested positive for steroids.
Oh,
It's ruined.
you're telling me a professional athlete took steroids? Ugh.
They all take steroids, but he got caught.
That's my birthday.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
You didn't get to come to this.
When was it?
It was June 17th. June 17th.
Yeah, what year? Whenever my birthday was on a Sunday. I don't know when that was.
It was the year you came to New Country. It was the first. It was like 3 months.
Oh yeah,
before.
TD Garden. Oh yeah, that's right. I do remember this.
Yeah. Sweet.
Did you go to it? You didn't go to it.
Of course, I went to this.
No, you didn't
Why
go
do you
to
think I have a poster of it?
Oh, did you also go to this tower and meet this turtle?
I met the creator of the turtle. Yeah, I met the guy who drew that turtle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, you'll go pee.
Yeah.
What do you
Okay.
think? Because you'll die.
Thank you for listening.